Right, as you can see, I'm bedridden. As I mentioned in the last video, this tends to be sort of the norm for me after about 6 o'clock in the evening. So I've set up the tripod on the bed so I can do this. But yeah, the MS seems to really dislike the winter. This is something that I've noticed in previous years, but this year, oh my God. It's not so much that it's colder, it isn't. According to the weather forecast, it's about 3 to 5 degrees. It feels colder because it's damp, very dank. Everything's covered in a sheen of misty water outside, and these conditions seem to be hitting the MS really bad. I can hardly walk. I do manage to go downstairs late morning and I have my meal, sit down for a bit, do a bit of painting of models, or a little bit of creative work on the YouTube. Then I go back upstairs after I've had my evening meal and stay upstairs for the rest of the evening. Well, recently I've basically been staying upstairs and just going downstairs for meals because I can hardly walk. My legs feel very stiff. There isn't much elasticity to them. They seem to be very yeah, it's very difficult. I don't go out. Don't have a mobility scooter. Don't have an electric wheelchair. Either of which would help enormously, especially the electric wheelchair. But right now, I can't go anywhere. I don't even go anywhere in the car, partly because of the cost of running a car, but partly also because when I get out the car, I can't go anywhere because I can hardly walk. So I'm pretty much a prisoner at home. On the subject of that, I mentioned in the last video that I was going for a meeting with the local PIPs at the job centre. Now, this is something the Birkenhead Job Centre do. It is a brilliant thing because the PIPs people, to be fair to them, and I know they get a lot of stick, they basically are prisoners of the system that they are given to run. It is the design of the system which is designed not to give you anything, to keep the bill down, that is the difficulty, the nightmare for us trying to get help. I don't deny that there must be a person somewhere who tries to cheat the system. And I am absolutely certain that they are in the minority, and they're certainly not the number of scroungers that certain people would like you to believe. I, for one, am just sick of being absolutely a prisoner of my MS, because I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, I don't have any real help. And anyway, so I went to this meeting. I'd been reapplying for the higher rate of PIPs because that then gets you the mobility. The mobility isn't necessarily the most important thing. I don't want a car. I've got a car. I can't afford to run it, but I've got a car. What I need is the mobility scooter, the electric wheelchair, neither of which I can get help with unless I'm on the high rate of PIP. That is why I need it. Now, why the system insists on you being on the high rate of PIP to get help, I don't know. But there are so many boxes to tick. And I don't blame the people sitting in an office ticking boxes. I basically went along to this meeting and I said, look, I've had a letter from the specialist. The letter says I've got progressive MS. It's incurable. He recommends that I be on the higher rate of PIPs because I need mobility assistance. And he went on to say it's an incurable disease and the prognosis is there is no cure and no chance of improvement, just a gradual decline. The next letter after that would be the funeral director, if you were to follow the logic. There may be other letters from the specialist to say it's got worse, it's got worse, it's got worse. But there wouldn't be anything sort of with a miracle update. Okay? And when I applied for the PIPs to be reconsidered, they turned it down. I then asked for it to be reviewed. They reviewed it and they phoned me up and they said, have you got any other information? I said, well, like what? Well, something else beyond the letter from the specialist. Have you got anything more recent? Are you taking extra pills? No. Okay, puts the phone down, and the review, I got turned down. I'm on the same rate of PIPs. When I told the people at Birkenhead, they said, well, you know, from a perspective of the guy filling out the form, he's only got the information in front of him to go on, and he's got little boxes to tick. So they gave me some advice, some extra information that I could send to, they helped me set up an appeal to the tribunal, and they helped me arrange that, and they also helped me do the application. They gave me advice on the kind of information that would help me explain my condition so that the guy or girl at the other end ticking the boxes can understand my personal condition. That's the information I needed. I can understand, I never got angry about it. I can understand the point of view that it is difficult to convey for them to understand, especially with the MS, which is different in every single case. So if you're filling out universal credit applications or PIPs, don't say the best day that you've ever had, but try to give as much information as you can. And my reason for going to the Birkenhead Job Centre to meet with the PIPs people was to find out what kind of information would help create the best paint the best picture to illustrate my situation. And they gave me some fantastic advice. And basically that is to get as many people who know me, who knew me before, know me after, and also for me to describe my day-to-day situation precisely so that it's there in black and white and they can read it. Now, they said that should be taken into account because even if it's your own words, it is still important because you're the one living with the situation. They should take that into account, they said. So, the next step is the tribunal, which could take months. I'm stuck on the bed. This last week, I have been downstairs only to eat. I went out on Thursday and I basically couldn't leave the car. My father had to go in and apologise to people because basically I just wasn't comfortable in any chair. I was comfortable in the car, so that's where I sat. and I felt so antisocial and unfriendly, and it's weird. I thank God the car seats are comfortable. Imagine going on a journey in a car that isn't comfortable. As an ex-car upholsterer, that really bugs me when car seats aren't properly designed, but that's a whole different story. Anyhow, so I've had to cancel plans for this coming weekend. We're talking about a long wait for a decision on a date for the tribunal, for my situation to be reconsidered again, and for me to be able to plead my case in person. Fingers crossed that they actually believe me, because if you take a skeptical point of view, you could argue against anybody, you know. I don't know. The only worry about the tribunal I've got is if it's too far from the car park to the entrance, I might not be able to walk the distance. It is the best possible proof, but if I can't get there, I've missed my opportunity. That worries me quite a bit. Ironic, isn't it, really, if you think about it? So, are you living with a disability? Have you been through PIPs? Have you got any advice for other people who have applied? Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you have MS, do you have the same situation where the damp, cold, low temperatures of December and January and maybe February affect you in the same way it affects me? Am I unusual in that, or is that normal? I don't know. Nobody tells me. So if you've any experience, share it in the comments below. If my experience helps you because you think you're the only one, leave your comments in the description below. Let's create a community sort of effect on this. And please share this with people you think it might help. And of course, to help me, give it a thumbs up. That tells people like us that there's something useful here that they might enjoy or find helpful. And also hit the bell, hit the drop down and hit all, and I will keep on updating about the situation as and when I get a mobility scooter or an electric wheelchair. I really don't care which at the moment. But if I get help, if I find devices, anything, and as the summer comes and I'm able to get out, I will be updating and reviewing anything that I get that helps me. So please do tune in, do keep in touch, do leave your comments below, and I will update you in the next one.